to another episode of the Daughters to Destiny podcast. I am your host, Simone Cumbie Johnson. I want to thank y'all for tuning in today for this episode. So today we're going to do something a little different. I've been praying and asking God, what is it that He wants me to discuss today on the podcast? And I heard clearly, tell my people, that I love them. And I got to be honest, when I heard it initially, I was like, okay, God, everybody know that you love them. Can I have something else? And I heard again, tell my people that I love them. And when I start thinking about it, it's so important to know that God loves you, even in the midst of everything that's going on in the world. We see people dying from the coronavirus, like breaking numbers each and every day. We're seeing unemployment rates increase each and every day. We see people not knowing where their next meal will come from, not knowing how their bills gonna get paid, not knowing what's on the other side. We're literally living day by day through faith. I want you to know that God has sent me to remind you that He still loves you. He has not forgotten about you. This has not taken Him by surprise. He has not turned His back on you. He's concerned about everything that you're concerned about. He is taking care of and fighting for our behalf, even when we don't see it clearly, even when it looks like He's not there, even when we can't even hear His voice clearly. He is still by our side. His word says He'll never leave us nor forsake us. And during this time, I can admit that it might seem like He has, with not only the coronavirus and unemployment rates and people, not knowing what's coming the next day, taking each day literally by faith. We hear about situations such as George Floyd. We hear about policemen that are killing our Black men and some African American females too. And from a mom that is raising two Black boys in America, it hits different. It hits different because I'm teaching my kids even now that the sky's the limit. I'm teaching them that you can be anything that you want to be, and then the world is telling them that they're limited by the color of their skin. The world is telling them, even when you follow the rules and regulations, that you can still be gunned down. Your life still can be taken away. And it's not something that I would usually be open about because I don't even know how to even start the conversation, which I thank God that my boys are I have one that's turning 3 this weekend and one is 5, so I don't have to have that conversation yet. But I think about my nephew who's in high school and he's but to drive. Like, I saw Ricky Smiley posting pictures of him putting a camera in his son's car. Like, that's what it results to, that we have to protect them. I might have to tell my kids that they can't ride alone, that you have to record. If you get stopped by the police, I want you to call me. I want you to record the incident. Like, it breaks my heart to know that one day I'm going to have to sit down and have a conversation. Even in preschool, my son came home one day and said, Mom, the police could shoot us. And I was like, first of all, I wasn't ready to have the conversation. Second of all, y'all in preschool and y'all talking about that? Like, it broke my heart, and me and my husband just look at each other like, and he had to take the conversation because I really was emotional to hear my son say that. Like, I don't want my kids to be afraid of the police, and I don't want them to think that all policemen are bad, because I have friends who are policemen. I have females and male friend who's in the law enforcement, and I don't want them growing up thinking that policemen are bad. And then you hear these stories of how police are killing unarmed Black men, and it's like I'm stuck between the two. And I just thank God that at this time I don't have to sit down and have that conversation for them. But I still have moments when I see these videos and I'm like, I get so emotional wondering, how do I even start that conversation with my child? What will I even say? Like, my heart reaches out to those who have to have that conversation right now. Like, how do we even protect our boys? And it just breaks my heart. And when we hear things like this, we often wonder, God, do you see what's going on? God, do you hear the cries of these moms who's burying their kids? Do you see what's going on? And God sees it all. We may not understand everything that happened. We may not have all the answers. God never told us that we would. But I do believe that even in this, he has our back. Even in this, it's going to be something on the other side of this that we cannot see. Even through the deaths with coronavirus, there gotta be something on the other side. I just believe there's no way we going through all this hell for nothing. It gotta be something that God preparing us for on the other side. It gotta be something that's greater that we cannot see during this time. God, I still believe God loves us. I know, let me backtrack. I know that God still loves us. Ain't nothing that can happen. Ain't nothing that we gonna do that's gonna make God turn his back on us. We are his children. Just like you don't stop loving your children, God loves us 10 times more. He sacrificed his only son for us. So don't think because the news that you see, coronavirus, the deaths of and the injustice, that God has forgotten about us. God has not forgotten about us. God is still working on our behalf. God is still fighting for us, slaying things in the spirit, even things that we cannot see. We see things in the physical, but there's a spiritual playing field that God is fighting on our behalf. Don't think that he's forgotten about you. He's still caring. He's still caring. If you have a need, if you don't know where the next dollar coming from, the next meal coming from, I ask you to pray. I ask you to trust and believe that God is going to do it. At this point, if you're down to your last, if you've tried all other options that haven't worked, what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose other than trusting and believing God, trusting that he's going to work it out, trusting that he's going to provide? And I see the unemployment rates and I see deaths that's happening, but I also see people that's still being blessed even in the midst of this. I still seeing people saying, if it had not been for God. I still seeing people waking up who hasn't had the coronavirus. I've seen people recover who had the coronavirus. I've seen miracles even in the midst of this, when people didn't know where their meal would come from and an unexpected blessing come, or their doorbell ringing, somebody bringing them food, or bills are being paid. Even it's a blessing, y'all, even in like the couple of months of companies giving us leeway where we don't have to pay bills, and or we could pay a little as time go on. I've never seen that happen. And I'm only 28, and I've never seen that happen in my entire life. Or the gas prices going down. Like, now is the time, even in the midst of this, that we got to trust God, and we still got to believe that he has a plan that we cannot see. We still got to believe that he still know what he doing, y'all. He still know what he doing. He still sits on the throne. It's nothing that's happening that he is not concerned about. It's nothing that's happening that he didn't already plan for. All of this is a part of his plan, and he wanted me to remind you that he still loves you. He has not forgotten about you. He does care. He is concerned about the things that's going on in your life. He is concerned about our children. He is concerned about our race. Not only our race, but all races. But he's concerned even in the stories that we're seeing on the news, such as George Floyd. And now is the time for us to stand united. Now is the time for us to really be in prayer and focusing, so God can tell us what's the next step in this, so God can tell us how to maneuver. Even now, I feel like I'm in a season where I don't know what's going to happen. Even in my own life, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm literally walking each day by faith. I'm learning so much about myself during this time of healing, that I'm thankful in the sense that the world can just calm down. Like and it's not even like the rich or the poor. Everybody is going through the same thing at one time. So we understand on the level of nobody ain't really working. Everybody's sitting at home, even celebrities, and they got all the funds and stuff. Like, work has stopped. And now more than ever, we have to do a self-evaluation of us. We have to sit down and heal. We have to sit down and pray. We have to sit down and read our word and trust God in a whole nother level, because in this season, a lot of us don't understand what's going on. A lot of us don't understand what's coming tomorrow, even later on today. But I do understand that I need to put my trust and my hope in God, because he is the one that's going to provide. He is the one that's going to tell me what I need to know. What's the next step? He is ordering and guiding my footsteps. And he loves me. And nothing in this world can make me think otherwise, that he don't love me. I don't care what happened. I don't care what occurs. I know that God loved me, because I see even in this that he is showing up and out. I'm seeing even in this that he's performing miracles, not just in my life, but in everybody else's lives. I'm seeing now that he's reaching more people now during the coronavirus than ever before, because his words is going out. His word is reaching people over the internet, they got conferences now that's free online, and people are getting freed and people are being delivered. People are being bold enough now to walk into their calling and accomplish the dreams that he has prepared for them. So you guys, that's all that I wanted to come on and say today, that God loves you and he has not forgotten about you. All right, y'all. I hope y'all have a good weekend. Bye.